But yeah, I think he tried it the first time but canceled it because he probably wanted to fix things up, or I don't know if they were ready. He's smiling.
I'm still laughing over what Champ said before recording.
I'm like, wait, what the f going on?
It feels like the full Dookie Super Saiyan Goku.
And I want to learn more, and more, and more!
Oh yeah, it's the champ. Let's go!
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Plastic Powered Podcast. This is Starblast Studios alongside Daredevil 19 and Champ Animations. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Street Humans line that was done by Shartimusprime just a little bit ago. We're going to be talking about it, see why exactly, the line did not pick up as much revenue as it needed to in order to succeed, and what exactly the faults and problems with it were. So, go ahead, Sean. Start us off. Talk a little bit about it.
So, yeah, this was a line Shartimusprime was starting up. I think he was partnered with somebody else who was, making the figures and designing them. But I know he had a part in, probably designing them as well. But, yeah, I think he tried it the first time but canceled it because he probably wanted to fix things up, or I don't know if they were ready. He's smiling.
I'm still laughing over what Champ said before recording.
I'm like, wait, what the f going on? but so he. Inside joke.
No, keep it in. Keep it in. All right, just keep going. All right. That's an inside joke. Only we want to know, people.
So, Shartimusprime did do it for real this time on Kickstarter. He needed 120 grand to fully back the project. He got about 83, 84 grand. Stop it, Starblast.
I'm not trying to do it, I swear.
I saw you laughing again. So, he was pretty much 2/3 of getting the project backed. It seems like a lot of people still didn't know about it. I tried posting it on my YouTube channel. I feel like I could have done a little bit more. I know when he does it again, I'm going to try to help him out more. But you had some people complaining about, scaling. Some people were complaining about, alien heads and a few other things. The articulation, I think, looks pretty good on it. I think it's, similar to a Marvel Legends, but it looks like it did have more movement. Some people were complaining about, the toe articulation
I almost feel
well.
like it looks a little bit more like DC icons and such, just because, you look at how the the
torso?
elbow... No, the elbow articulation. Well, yeah, the torso a little bit, but, I was mostly looking at the elbow articulation because it kind of looks like the figure arts articulation that DC icons sometimes has in their own figures as well. You see,
the ones with the long sleeves?
Well, not necessarily the one with the long sleeves. So, look at the bat, the bat character, for example. Look at his elbows, the joints in there. I feel like it kind of looks like DC icons. That's what screams it to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another thing people were complaining about was the price, but I mean, it's not a bad price for a figure with.
How much do they go for?
You get plenty of accessories with it. To be honest, you get multiple heads, you get hands, and a couple of weapons.
Well, for the viewers that don't know about this, what is how much did these figures go for?
They were $28 each on his Kickstarter.
That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I think articulated icons were $30-something. So I think they were 35, almost $40. The articulated icons. So they were almost
We're not talking about a multi-million-dollar corporation like Hasbro being able to put this out. We're talking about someone for from just a guy starting up a figure. He collects figures and he's making figures. And $28 is not that bad when it comes to figures and such that's put out there. It's pretty good.
So I feel like people are just giving out maybe excuses of why they didn't back the line, which pricing I feel like was not an issue.
Yeah, I don't think the pricing is the problem. The pricing is not the problem.
Yeah, that's how much pretty much Marvel Legends and Black Series practically are after taxes anyway. So
I think what it is, and this is and I'm actually going to quote Shartimus on this, is that if people like the character, they're going to spend as much as they want for it. So that was a lot of the cases when it came to the Spider-Man figures or figures in general that are just inherently expensive. Even if the figure is too expensive, like Metal Cooler and whatnot, if people like that, they're going to end up buying it regardless, and that's what you just find out. So and the problem here when it comes to the Street Thugs, and I think this is what the democratic thing that's being missed here. This is what I think the biggest problem with it is that they're a bunch of street humans. People that
Oh, sorry, they're not thugs. They're humans.
Street, well, quote unquote
humans,
but like
they are a mixture of street thugs with aliens.
Yes,
mixed into it.
Like, and they look cool. The thing is that no one has like any actual like reason to care about the figures. So like, okay, they're cool characters and such to pose around with, like, say you look at other figures like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Hulk. There's multi uses for them. But here's the thing: is that when you actually are trying to find figures on the shelf. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to pose Hulk around, I'm going to pose him fighting Abomination. If I'm going to pose Spider-Man, it'll be with Green Goblin, Venom, Sandman, Mysterio, all these other villains and such. I'm not going to be posing a lot of characters with a bunch of street humans, street thugs, or background characters that, that can be fought, with heroes.
I mean, it's good for, like what you're saying, on like a display like that. But if you're like a big ACBA or stop motion guy, they definitely help out with that.
Absolutely.
So there was a good chunk of backers. It just couldn't hit that $120,000 goal that Shartimus was looking for. He is gonna try it again, as he's been posting, and hopefully, I feel like next time he might be able to get it off the ground, because he did not just have it on Kickstarter, he had it on Big Bad Toy Store. Sorry, I saw Starblast kind of smirk again. So
I'm happy to be on this podcast. What are you talking about? I'm just enjoying my time, talking to you, talking to Chad. We're all just conversating and such, talking about figures. We're having a great time.
Yeah, we just have a really it's the big inside joke that they're all cracking up at if we just start rapping.
Anyway, I mean,
but hold on,
it's gonna be a goofy podcast. But like,
let me redo this.
But like, I guess I can play devil's advocate, saying like, I guess I understand why people didn't back it, because, like you said, he's like, these are like not like standout characters, like something you could just pose with Spider-Man, or I mean, you can, but like, what are you gonna go with? You're gonna go with what, the Bat dude or a Green Goblin? The
thing is, and I'm not saying that there isn't appeal for this. There is appeal for this. But the problem is that the appeal only applies to like smaller community sections, I think, of action figure collectors. I feel like the problem is that this is like when you look at the actual scale of like figure collectors, right? People who actually who actually get figures, the entire demographic, they're not going to be interested. Like most of the people want to be spending $28 or whatever on characters that actually mean a lot to them. In a lot of cases, they're already spending a bunch on a bunch of other companies like Hasbro or Figuarts, a bunch of all these other stuff, not to say that these figures don't have uses, but I just because of the inherentness of because of just the fact that these characters are inherently just background characters and whatnot, there's not as exactly a section of appeal, like a driving force, we have to get this figure, we gotta get that. It doesn't really have that sort of thing going with it. Whereas
one thing that I noticed, I wanted to see is the Tracksuit Mafia guys from Marvel Legends Hawkeye series. Mm-hmm. Those cost about $27.99. So if these figures cost around $28, that's only $1 more, and you probably get more
accessories,
more or at least the same amount that Hasbro released. So and you get different varieties of styles, clothing, weapons. So it's I guess the only biggest,
you could probably mix and match too.
Yeah, you could probably mix and match. The only probably biggest maybe I can see people not jumping on it is because they probably won't fit as well in the Marvel Legends line, because these are 7 inches. So
they are. I thought they were.
I think he said they were 6 inches and 3/4 of an inch.
Because I'm
most
looking
Marvel
at
Legends are 6.5.
See, because I'm looking at the picture with Wolverine and Samuel L. Jackson. He's that one guy standing a little bit. I mean, you can have him as a what do you call it? A heavy guy. Yeah,
like a bigger dude. Yeah.
Like a mini boss kind of character. But it's still all those other characters are probably going to scale around the same size. So you're going to have these tall dudes, and then it's. I don't know. I mean, you can probably play with it though, fudge it in there with the ACBA and stop motion. So it's not a big drawback. But I mean, The only thing I'm wondering is why the alien head. Is that because of like copyright
Well,
reasons, or is that something?
no, it's kind of like his own thing. He was trying to. He does have like a story for it. He made like a. There's a video for it, but that's why it's street humans. They're kind of like aliens disguised as humans.
Okay.
So that's.
I
Like,
wasn't
the
sure
whole
if it
big
was like
thing
kind of
about
like
it.
a Kong Studio situation where it's like, oh, you.
Oh
need
no
to...
no! It was nothing like that. Cause yeah, this is all like his own like original
Yeah.
stuff that he's making with the other dude who was helping him create or make the figures and stuff. But yeah, it was nothing like that. Those I feel like
you know what? I feel like maybe if he had like one, like if he changed out one of the figures for like, like what is it, the dinosaur dude or whatever, like
Yeah,
maybe
the
give him like a
reptile looking
suit,
one,
like
yeah.
a black and white suit. I can see people jumping onto this because I know a lot of people want to like army build the Mr. Negative henchman instead
Yeah.
of buying that 2-pack over and over again and having like 50 different Mr. Negatives. I feel like if you had like one guy like in a mafia suit or like a suit and tie or something like that, I feel like a lot more people would jump on. I guess it's because most of these guys are in like casual clothing, like they got the you got your football
football
vest.
jersey,
Yeah, football jersey, football.
Oh yeah, you can
tank
mix and match. Cause I'm looking at the guy with the cargo pants, and in one he's wearing a tank top. Then they have another character wearing the hoodie, and then it comes with the hood, and then you can remove the sleeves too. So that was a pretty cool little concept he did right there.
I guess maybe like people just maybe want a little bit more variety, but at this point it's like this is still new and it's still in the early phases, so it's like
Yeah.
maybe
I
if
feel
you-
like if he does do it again, I think it'll hit that goal that he's looking for. Because there's
like,
also a lot
I would
of people
definitely
who don't
jump
know about
on, like I don't know, it's just for me, like I guess maybe it's like I don't have much of a strong appeal towards background characters as much. I always want to
Yeah.
get like the main characters. Excuse me. But I think this is a really good idea, and I wish that a lot more people knew about this. I think that's another problem, is that not a lot of people know about this.
Yeah, a lot of people said they had no idea about it, and but then those were the main things I saw in like Facebook group comments. Like some people said it was too expensive, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, where have you been living under?
How
a
much would it?
rock?
The thing is, let me ask you this: like, I don't know very much about the like. This is actually like my second time hearing about it. First, before the episode of this podcast. Now it's like right now. But the how exactly was the funding work? Was it being funded through GoFundMe, and then people were just like sending a
Kickstarter.
A Kickstarter campaign. Okay, so how did the Kickstarter campaign work? Like, did people send out like as much money as they wanted to in order to reach that threshold and such?
Well, we had a few projects here. Hold on, let me get the Kickstarter up here. Kickstarter.
Because I feel like I don't know. I feel like with Kickstarters, kind of have like a bad reputation because Hasbro and definitely Hasbro Pulse. Like you gotta give money to a
McFarlane.
thing, even though this is like a big company. But for this, it makes sense because it's a smaller, indie. It's a small one guy. A couple of guys who make it.
Yeah, so the project pretty much hit 90,000, and it had 705 backers. If he puts it up again, I'll probably grab a figure or two, because I didn't before. I was trying to post it around on like my YouTube and stuff. So what they had, you had this set here, Street Humans.
I also noticed that like the four
This
different
wasn't-
variations like have like the same gun and bat and like so maybe sorry, not bat but
Same gun, yeah,
so
same
maybe
gun.
a
And
little
this
bit
guy
more
has a
variety.
sword. This
give
guy,
someone an
do you want to see the
AK-47.
Kickstarter?
Yeah, let's see.
Here, there's the link right here.
Let me see these.
So, yeah, you could back either one of these. Two created. So you had an option of 4 figures. So you could choose any of these 4 figures. Then the next thing was signed Street Humans basic figure, which was the same price. All 4 characters. Then you can get 2 packs, which 28 and 28 is what, 56?
This is actually really creative.
Damn, he was like 30,000 away from reaching the goal.
Yeah, he was 2/3 of the way heading it, so he was more than halfway. So I'm sure if he does it again, 99.9% sure it's going to get funded. So then you could get individual packs, or you can get like the 2 packs, or you can get the 4 pack. But there was
there's
a
a
bunch.
4-pack?
Yeah, you can do an 8 pack, which was a lot. You know what it is? A lot of people, I think, wanted more variation. Because if you look at the 8 pack, it looks like 4 and 4 of the same figure.
Yeah.
So
It'd be
but I
kind of
mean-
cool to have like one of each.
yeah,
complete
I'm
line.
sure. Let me see if he did that. Then there's a 20 pack. Well, this one
A
here
20
has
pack. Holy crap!
Goodness
8 pack
gracious.
bundle. You're like, he had a lot of bundles.
Now that makes sense
Maybe
though,
people-
because if you're gonna get these characters, it seems like they're designed to be mix and matched. So a 20 pack.
Oh
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, they
Yeah.
are. They definitely are. Yeah.
Because then there's more,
So,
there's
yeah.
a lot of figures there.
Yeah, with all the different mixing and matching. Yeah, he shows in a lot of the pictures how these guys, the legs switched, or the torso switched, the
But
arms.
I feel like, just from a, not to sound like an ass, but like from like a critique, I feel like for the 20 pack, you should have like maybe 4 of each different,
Yeah,
character.
yeah, I could see. What
I feel
you're
like it
saying
shouldn't just be
there.
2 guys,
Yeah,
But
that's what it. Maybe that could have been an issue.
because I feel like if you like had like maybe 2 or 4 of each,
Well,
that
he
way
does
you
have
could really-
another. He does have another 20 pack, and it's 5, but of 4 different characters, but 5 of the same. So I think.
Yeah,
that was,
hold on. I was just scrolling and I saw the he was comparing the Marvel Legends Captain America 20th anniversary with the Renew Your
Yeah.
Vow Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And you can see how he's like taller than Cap and Spider.
yeah, he's just barely taller than Cap
Yeah.
there, but
It looks like they kind of scale with like GI Joe more a little bit, but
yeah, I
like,
could see that. Yeah,
I think it's also like some people. I'm trying to like put my shoes into the mindset of why some people didn't buy it.
Yep.
Probably because it's just the scaling might have been also off a little bit. I don't think the price is bad at all. That's like
no, yeah.
that's like today's market, so that's it's pretty good to be
I think
honest.
it's
And,
just.
yeah, he
I think, and it's just like I hate to say, it, I think it's just the fact that not a lot of people really care about getting street thugs, street humans. Same thing. I don't feel like a lot. There's people want to get more Spider-Man. People want to get characters that they know and care about. There's cool customization and there's cool like I think engineering going on with these figures. But ultimately, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, like what's gonna target people? Like what's people gonna get? More excited over, like a Spider-Man figure or street thugs.
I feel like
I mean, of course, it's going to be a Spider-Man, but yeah, this is
I also
good
think
for
like,
like.
go
ahead,
ahead.
Chad.
I was gonna say like Heesh, I just bought the Chameleon J. Jonah from you, and that comes with like 3 different heads, and that's like great for customization, but you also could create like civilian
Yeah.
clothes and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
something like along the lines of, like people are more willing to buy that because not only do you have a main character, but you have like 2 side characters. So it's like, or
Well,
like
yeah,
the
it's
the
multiple
tracksuit
different
model.
characters. You have multiple different characters in one figure, and also like
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson is a fun character to have when it comes to like your Spider-Man displays too. Like I want photos
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Spider-Man. You just want to get him in that in that pose, or like and same with Chameleon. Chameleon is a great I think villain in Spider-Man. So there's other appeal to that too, which is like his overall connection to that.
Which I want to
think
say
that-
is the
I think-
inspiration for Street Humans that he was kind of doing, kind of the whole like, oh, you have the regular faces and then you have that like one monster face. So I can see where he was going
Yeah.
with this, but I think
and
the
I
problem
get
with
that.
Yeah.
those are IP. Those are part of an IP. These are totally new and original.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
exactly.
gotta
think of
Those
the
are all
original
part of the franchise that people
concepts.
like are like connected with. This is not.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think he was trying to capitalize off making like just bad guys for the superheroes to beat up, which isn't a bad figure line to do. I just feel like he was trying really hard to get it out there, but there's always people who still don't hear about stuff, and it's like, how the hell
I think
do
I
you
don't
get to those people?
I think he got everything right, except for a few things. He got the engineering right. He got a lot of the
Yeah.
accessories right. He's got the cool mix and matching
Yep.
feature right. What I think
Yeah.
what I think that the strategy was just missing was a hook. So say for example, let's take a character like Spawn. Spawn is not as popular as Spider-Man, but he's a cool, fun character that I think a lot of people actually do really enjoy. And
Yeah.
Todd the McFarlane, there's a lot of McFarlane stuff when it comes to Spawn, and some of these where it's not necessarily like heard about. I hear that they do pretty decent. Like I don't want to say they do
Yeah.
abundantly well, but some of the lines are decent. Street Fighter, the not Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat stuff like that. They do they do.
Oh, the McFarlane, yeah.
Well, yeah, whatever, yeah, with what under McFarlane's line, they do fairly well, but
Yeah.
but all these are different lines and such that people had a connection to prior. So what I think that Shartimus needs to do is he needs to actually engineer a story or something like that, like behind
He does have
something.
a story, but I don't know how in depth it is. I
Well,
understand.
we
where
don't.
you're
No
coming
one.
from.
Not a lot of
Continue
people
on.
know about. I don't. My whole thing is that not a lot of people really know about the story. The story is.
Yeah.
So what the story essentially was lacking. It was lacking It was lacking representation. If people like, say for example, he makes a bunch of street thugs. He's basically the way that he targeted these figures is he wants to essentially make it to where they work with whatever 6-inch or 7-inch scale lines you got. It's I feel like it's kind of dead in the middle, where they're a little bit taller than Marvel Legends, but a little bit shorter than 7-inch scale, which it kind of works like that in terms of like blending in with a bunch of ACBA shots or figure photography. There's a demographic right there in which they work like that, but there's no like main, I think, like characters or heroes or anything like that for them to like actually fit with, which I know is like, this has been like a lot of me like repeating that the same exact sort of point. It's just what I'm trying to get at is that you have to essentially, where there is a story, this story needs to be presented. You have to have other things like how does it connect with other characters, character conflicts and such. People need to like know about this stuff. People need to be presented with it so that when they see the figures, they'll be like, oh, I recognize it from that, and then they're like, you know what, I'm gonna get it. This seems cool. This seems like a cool thing. I'm gonna put my money into it. Without that sort of backing, without that sort of like recognizability when it comes to the characters, no one's really gonna want to get that. I don't think.
It kind of needs like another media presence, like maybe a comic or like a little like animation or something like that. Maybe like something
he
for
did.
people to get
He
connected
did have
with.
like a little animation of, I guess, the backgrounds of them. Like, I remember when Articulated Icons came out, they wrote each of their stories individually on their packaging. Like, some of them were really long, so it gave you, like, a nice, like, dialogue of that character and about them and stuff, which was interesting. I'm pretty sure these would have had them on them if they were fully backed and everything.
Did it
but yeah, he
like
did have a...
Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Oh no, I'm
but
just saying a
didn't-
comic, like what Champ said, a comic book might be good. Who knows? Maybe that was in the process.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Wasn't there
Starblast.
like another line of figures that some other YouTubers, like figure YouTubers, made? Like the Foosh, he made like some ninja
the
figures.
Foosh? Yeah, they did Articulated Icons.
Yeah, Articulated Icons.
That
stuff,
was like the ninjas and samurai.
yeah, stuff
There was
like
another
that.
guy that I know that was making like his own like comic book and action figures as well, but they were like kind of prototypes and customs. But I
Yeah.
think it's like if you tie, like I'm not saying that like I know these are supposed to be your average Joes, your common dudes on the street, but like I guess you could just like kind of have something that were collectors or buyers be able to like, oh, it's actually from this source material from this guy, like have like a comic or something like that, just to kind of just help sell it, just something to, like you said, he should like to help present it, just have a well-defined like kind of like a pitch idea, like saying like, hey, this is my own thing and this is like what it visually comes from, and like that way it can help introduce people to this line. I feel like also what you could do, you mentioned it earlier, like fitting into like certain people's like characters, like saying like what I was mentioning, like if you had like a bunch of guys in suits, right? Like if you had like a guy in a black suit or something like that, and be like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool, and you dude in black suit, and you're thinking like, wait a minute, oh, I can like make that part of the Mr. Negative gang. So I feel like he might just need a, I don't know if he can, and hopefully if he does, maybe change the variety where it's like, oh, I know where I exactly can buy this. I know exactly where to put them in this, in this group of figures and group of figures that and stuff like that. So I feel like it could be a few things, like you said.
There's one other thing here too, is that if you're gonna actually start off with making like, I think that it's the first figures, the characters, you need to have something you appeal for. So instead, I think of making street thugs from the very get go. You know, like the background characters. I think why not take like an already existing like, you know, character and such like that, but like obviously you give it a different name so that you're not like so that you avoid, you know, trademarking such, avoid, you know, copyrighted stuff. So like for example, if you wanted to do like a Spider-Man figure, but obviously you can't call it Spider-Man, you would make something like that, make a design that looks like something from Spider-Man that people might actually want, and do that's an example. You know, he can obviously do something like Batman or like other different things, just to kind of make like a figure that at the very least targets a separate demographic. Like it would be like a, you know, a, obviously isn't going to be Batman, but it's going to be like a character like similar like that, different name.
But then if you do that, you're gonna have people saying like, "Oh, he's just ripping off Batman or Superman." That's another.
I don't care about
issue
what
with
people
it.
say. I care about what people will pay for. People, I think, will pay for something that they care about. If there's if Shartimus is able to click into something like that people already care about, to make like a knockoff version with a different name, something that people can get behind, I think they will enjoy that. I think people will enjoy, like, you know, they will want to put money into that, especially because the figures is already being presented at a $28 price point. You can fill in that specific gap for a specific character that already exists in a certain way that we never actually had very many figures for. I think that would be a good idea.
I think that if you are doing something that's like even Batman related, say you like get a guy who has like, you know, like a clown mask or something like that. I'm like, oh crap, I can make my Joker gang with this, you know, that way you can like army build that way.
Yeah.
He's like, oh crap, I can make a ninja clan, you know, like I can make something for Daredevil
we
to
did
fight.
like a ninja type character.
Ninja type, or like samurai or something like that.
For the hand.
Do something like the Yakuza or something like that, you know? Like, it's just like have characters.
That's not a bad line, a Yakuza line.
Yeah. You can fight.
All right, fellas, let's get to work.
Yeah. I actually do like that idea, because at the very least, the reason why, if people get the figures right, and they realize, oh wait, this figure is actually good, it articulates well, has a bunch of accessories, then if they were to see something like Street Thugs, they will be so in love with the mechanics and such already that they'll know that these next figures are going to be good and that they'll be fun.
And they could also stand on their own. They could also be like, hey, you don't even have to buy them for like to go with the Joker. You could probably just have it its own little gang, you know?
Yeah.
But
you know what
people will want to
also
actually
did?
do that, because then they'll have these set idea in their mind that they have to be a completionist. They have to fill in the rest of the one. Now that they have this, now they'll want that. They don't have anything to really connect them to say, you know what, I don't have to say that they want to get the figures. He's kind of reliant on like, oh, well, Marvel Legends and DC Icons, all these figure lines and such exist that can use figures like this. So therefore, it should instantly be an appeal to the demographic. We don't have anything like that, because at the very least, like, the way that people's minds work is that they want to collect figures that are in a line, not figures from a different company to fill in the void in that way.
Starblast, going back to what you were saying about like making a character similar, and now thinking about it, when Foosh did Articulated Icons, they made a character that looked like Snake Eyes.
I did remember that.
Storm Shadow.
Yeah.
So now thinking about it, I'm like, oh yeah, he could do something like that, and then that could be a Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow. Like, so I see what you're saying now. Not technically a Batman-looking character, but there is characters out there that companies still haven't touched up on that you can make look similar, so then you can turn it into that character or something. Because that's how Foosh actually sold me with theirs, because I'm like, that looks like Snake Eyes. I'm backing it.
I can actually I can actually get this and turn it into like a really good Snake Eyes figure. This will be great.
Yeah, all I got was a Snake Eyes custom head.
He can make a bunch of figures too that can like work for Berserk if you want to like, you know, have like, you know, Berserk stuff in that sense. Like, but it's just characters with armor.
Like
they can
he can make characters that like are like vampire-ish, and you can have them fight like Blade. Like, imagine that, like having
That's
this
another one,
vampire.
Yeah.
Since he's doing the whole monster concept, like dive into more of that. Like, if you wanted, like we just recorded one talking about the MCU, talking about wanting more horror stuff, and it's like, oh, you know, the Marvel right now, they're not really releasing anything that's like anything related to demons or vampires. You know, you get a bunch of Blades You know,
And they just released a blade too.
So, you know, if he released something that was like, you know, someone with fangs, but it's not really like based on any existing character, you could buy it, and then it's like, oh, now you got some vampires that Blade can chop.
I just got a really good idea. Have any of you guys watched Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes.
Yeah.
They can make a bunch of the kernels and a bunch of the characters that were in there, you know, in this line. Like think about it. All of the military characters, they wear a bunch of the same things. You get all these different heads. They work for something like that. Like
they do wear the same uniform.
I don't know if Shartimus has ever seen that, so he's probably not going to understand that type of stuff. But like ultimately, what I do hope that is taken away from this video is that like I feel like I kind of see like what went wrong here, and I definitely, you know, think that Shartimus is on a good trail. He's got a lot of passion put into like, you know, what he's making here with these thugs, and I think that he has a great idea. It's just you're missing that one extra thing that I think, you know, will bring the appeal. I like think which will make the line successful. Just that little bit more, and you got it. Like you are so close, you're there.
Yeah.
So if Shartimus watches this,
pretty much
I hope
right
you send
there,
this out. Like someone send this out. But Shartimus, if you're watching this, I hope you see this video. I hope you receive it well. And I do hope that, you know, whatever figures you make for the Kickstarter, it will actually succeed in the future.
Yeah.
We want you to succeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right.
You will.
Yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I wish him for the best, to be honest. Like I hope it goes well, and I would like to see, you know, one of my favorite content creators actually have a cool lot. You guys already know I love y'all. Shut up.
Just messing with you.
God, share the love. We need to support other content creators too, guys. It's not always about you, Sean.
Just messing with you. Nah, he was like one of my first favorite figure reviewers too. But yeah, I know he's gonna succeed. He's gonna get it. Sometimes you have to fail, sometimes in order to succeed, which is what's happening to him, but he's going to get it. And I know he will, and he'll definitely come out on top and be able to create his own figure line, and that's probably a big passion of his that he's probably been wanting to do for a while. I mean, we've been talking about doing certain things too, so Shartimus, you can do it.
You got this.
You can do it!
All right, with that,
gonna have to have Rob Schneider pop in there.
With that being said, we hope you guys did enjoy this video. This has been Starblast Studios, Daredevil 19, and Champ Animations. We'll see you guys in the comment section, and hopefully on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast. Till then, guys, take care.
See you later. Oh shit! I stopped the wrong thing. Thanks for listening to our podcast episode. If you're on YouTube and watch the video, then thank you for watching as well. We are your hosts, Starblast Studios,
Champ Animation,
and me, Daredevil 19.
And if you enjoyed our episode on Spotify, be sure to give us a follow and rating.
You can also leave us a comment under the Q&A, and we do thank you if you do. And if you did watch this on YouTube, be sure to give us a like if you liked it, and a subscribe-a-roo if you enjoyed it. And we will catch you on the next episode of the Plastic Power Podcast.